back to your Irregular Latvian lesson. Sometimes, for one reason or another, a dark cloud of sadness appears over our heads and follows us wherever we go. We become bēdīgs or bēdīga if you're a woman, which is the most generic way to say being sad in Latvian. For some, this is a fleeting feeling, but for others, it is somewhat of a default, as evidenced by the Latvian rapper Edavārdi in his song that I personally strongly relate to, called or I am sad for all of my life. Now, I might even dare to say that I am far from the only Latvian whose default state is below fine. Evidence for this you can find in our language. Do you know, when you're having a conversation with a Latvian and then he's kind of like not replying right away or being silent for a while, do you know what he's doing? Cieši klusu, or suffering silently. And if you would like to tell somebody to shut their mouth politely but like you're a 19th century peasant in the Latvian countryside, ciet klusu, don't speak, suffer silently. Well, here I part from my Latvian brothers and sisters because I suffer out loud. And today I will teach you how to express your sadness in Latvian. Let's go! Okay, let's look at different type of sadnesses we can have, shall we? First, bāda. Bāda. This is your generic type of sadness or an unhappy event that can be anything from puncturing a tire to a relative dying. A bāda can also be big or small, but no matter what the size, a very common Latvian practice is to stāstīt savu bādu or tell your bāda to anybody who will listen. Then we have skumjas. Skumjas, which is somewhat of a more bittersweet type of sadness. I would compare it more to having the blues. When you bādāties, then there is no question. We can clearly see that you are sad. But when you skumt, it is somewhat less obvious. You might even give somebody a skumjš smaids or a sad smile. And you can also skumt pēc someone or something, which is to miss them but with added sadness. For example, es skumstu pēc tevis. I miss you so that it makes me sad. Bādas and skumjas are also really dangerous because a lot of people tend to slīgt in them or to drown in them. And so rather than slīgt in bādas or skumjas yourself, it is better to noslīcināt or to drown them in a glass, for example. It can be anything you want. When I skumstu pēc Latvijas, I noslīcinu my homesick skumjas in kefirs sometimes. And then we have a trickster word, nelaime. Nelaime, literally unhappiness. So you would think that that means sad, but no. Nelaime means an accident or a misfortune. We even have a nickname from this word for people who are often unlucky or misfortunate. We call them nelaimes putns. Nelaimes putns, or the bird of unhappiness. Okay, let's go to some adjectives. Since we have a lot of them in Latvian, I've decided to group them in their level of sorrow. So first we have apbēdināts. Apbēdināts, from the word bāda. Apbēdināts is when you're having a quick and sad reaction towards something that somebody did or something that happened to you. Like if somebody insults you, it can apbēdināt you. Usually though, if you are apbēdināts, the feeling goes away pretty quickly. Level 2. Then we have saskumis un noskumis. Saskumis un noskumis. So this is from the word skumjas. Saskumis is similar to apbēdināts except without the personal component. So for example, if you go to a shop, right, and you see that all of the discount wine has been sold out, you can become apbēdināts. But then if you think that, oh my god, what if due to the coronavirus and the global recession, the price of wine will raise in general, then you can suddenly saskumt. And if this wine-related skumjas stays with you for a period of time, then for that period of time you will be noskumis. Level 3. Saplacis un sašļucis. Saplacis and sašļucis literally means flattened and slouched. Like These words have a tone of disappointment and a sense of giving up about them. For example, all the big travelers are quite saplakuši and sašļukuši this season. And also, if you bake, you'll know that sometimes cakes tend to saplakt or to fall flat, not raise. But since most people don't really hesitate and munch them down anyway, we might never know what sudden realizations have got these cakes so down. Then 4. Nomākts and grūtsirdīgs. Nomākts and grūtsirdīgs. Nomākts is when sadness comes to you like a cloud and sits on your mind, not letting you see anything on the other side. We also say this about weather. We say nomācies laiks, or cloudy weather but with a slight touch of despair. And grūtsirdīgs literally means when somebody has a difficult heart, but not in the sense that it has pathologies and, is prone to sickness, but it's because sadness goes and sits on it. So it makes it hard, for example, to make decisions. In English, the word would be heavy-hearted. Grūtsirdīgs, heavy-hearted. 5. Drūms, cheerless. So if nomācies laiks is like in Riga, a rainy day in the summer, then drūms laiks is like in winter, in Chernobyl. And this is not the type of sadness that is only contained to one person. Anything can be drūms. A drūms look, a drūma landscape, a drūma room, or a drūms cat, or for some people even drūms skats uz dzīvi, or a drūms look at life. Just remember to use your long vowel because it is not drums time, it is drūms time. Like a chord of the Latvian pagan metal band Skyforger. Drūms. Next level of sadness, bēdīgs, nelaimīgs, sad and unhappy, and raudulīgs from the word raudāt or to cry. For example, little babies are often very raudulīgi because they have not yet learned how to tell people to leave them alone. And then for an even more somber tone, we have sērīgs. Sērīgs from the word sērot or to grieve. As far as I know, no relation to the word sērs or sulfur, which is a chemical element, but still a good word to know if you are a chemist and working with sērs, just to make sure that working with this material accidentally does not end sērīgi. And then the ultimate sadness. Satriekts and izmisis. Satriekts is from the word triekt. So triekt was to hit somebody really, really hard. So satriekt is when the sadness has crushed into you and knocked you off your feet. For example, the first scratch on a brand new car is known to satriekt many owners. Or my mother was truly satriekta when her mother, my grandmother, decided to burn mom's Dolce & Gabbana shoes because grandma was freeing up space in the attic to dry some more garlic. Oh, Latvian grandmas! And finally, izmisis. Izmisis means desperate. I don't really think I should explain this one. I just hope that you will not become izmisis as you are trying to seriously learn Latvian with all of its verb conjugations and 3 different types of groups of verbs that you need to conjugate differently, noun declinations and the 6 different declinations of nouns that each have to be conjugated in 7 locījumi, or adverbs that also have to be conjugated, and divdabis, which is the participle, and how to write comas around it. Yes, it will be fun, don't worry, don't be izmisis. But if you ever do feel a little bit izmisis or bēdīgs, noskumis, sašļutis, or whatever else that's sad, there's always the Latvian cure for everything, which is singing! And today's song is Bēdu manu lielu bēdu, or Sadness, oh my big sadness. Bēdu manu lielu bēdu, es par bēdu nepēdāju. Bēdu manu lielu bēdu, es par bēdu nepēdāju. Ramtai, ramtai, radividiri, ramtai, rīgi, ralala. Ramtai, ramtai, radividiri, ramtai, rīgi, ralala. Bēdu manu lielu bēdu. Sadness, oh my big sadness. Es par bēdu nebēdāju. I was not sad about my sadness. And then the beautiful Latvian filler for folk songs Ramtai ramtai radiradiri diramtai ridiralala. It's good to practice your r. So that's the first verse, and the second verse Liku bēdu zem akmeņa. I put my sadness under a rock, pāri gāju dziedādam, and I walked over it singing. So the rest of the song I'll translate for you in Patreon, but if you're wondering about the story of the song, it goes pretty much like this. Take your sadness, put it under a rock, walk over it singing, go drink some brandevīns or vodka, and then go reap some grass with your bride, cutting off a piece of her skirt with every stroke. So, nebādājiet, draugi, but if you do it Latvian style. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you soon maybe. Bye!